remembering those that perished on the sinking of the RMS Titanic on April 15, 1912. The information provided was obtained and used from findagrave.com. This video contains passengers with the last name starting with C. The remaining passengers will follow shortly. The Kasic family. Father, Luka Kasic, age 38, born in Croatia. His occupation was listed as a farmer. Daughter, Manda Kasic, age 20, born in Croatia. Her occupation was listed as a farm laborer. Son, Jago Grga Kasic, age 18, born in Croatia. His occupation was listed as a farmer. Maria Kasic, age 36, born in Croatia, relationship unknown. Her occupation was listed as a farm laborer. They were all third-class passengers, and their bodies were never recovered. They were all traveling to Illinois. The next victim is Alexander Milne Cairns, age 28, born in Scotland. He was a servant to Mr. William Ernest Carter. He was a first-class passenger and his body was not recovered. Alexander's cenotaph is on his parents' headstone in Scotland. The next victim is the Kalic family. Petar Kalic, age 16, born in Croatia. His occupation was listed as a farm laborer. Jovo Kalic, age 16, born in Croatia. Relationship unknown. They were third-class passengers and their bodies were never recovered. The next victim is William Henry Campbell, age 20, also known as Willie, born in Ireland. He was a joiner apprentice at Harland and Wolff Shipyard in Belfast. William's body, if recovered, was never identified. His epitaph is located in Belfast. William's sister passed away that same year and his mother followed 2 years later. The next victim is the Canavan family. Patrick Canavan, also known as Pat, age 21, born in Ireland. Mary Canavan, age 22, born in Ireland. They were cousins and traveling to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Another cousin accompanied them as well. Her father funded her trip and found out about her death while selling some of his animals at the fair to make back some of the money he had given. All three cousins perished. Their cenotaph is located in Ireland. The next victim is Ernest Cann, age 29, born in England. He was only married 5 months, and his wife passed away 2 years later. Ernest was a third-class passenger and his body was never recovered. His occupation was listed as a miner. The next victim is the Karam family. Husband, Joseph Karam, age 27, born in Lebanon. Wife, Maria Elias Karam, age 18, born in Lebanon. They were third-class passengers, held ticket number 2689, and was traveling to Canada. Their bodies, if recovered, were never identified. The next victim is William Carbines, age 19, born in England. He was a second-class passenger and was traveling with his brother-in-law. William perished in the sinking, and his body was recovered by the Mackay Bennett. On May 10, 1912, his body was transported to England. William was interred in his grandparents' grave on May 30th. Over 500 mourners paid their respects. His youngest brother died 2 months after him. The next victim is Franz Olof Carlson, age 33, born in Sweden. He was a third-class passenger and his body was never recovered. Franz's occupation was listed as a skipper and first mate on board the passenger ship St. Louis. He was traveling to New York. The next victim is August Sigfrid Carlson, age 28, born in Sweden. He was a third-class passenger and his body was never recovered. August's occupation was listed as a farmer. The next victim is Carl Robert Carlson, age 24, born in Sweden. He was a third-class passenger and his body was never recovered. August's occupation was listed as a general laborer. The next victim is Jane Carr, also known as Janie, age 45, born in Ireland. She lived in Connecticut and worked for a prosperous banker as their housekeeper. Jane helped with the funding of family members that were trying to immigrate to the United States. She was returning back to Connecticut and died in the sinking. The next victim is the Corral family. Jose Pedro Corral, age 17, born in Uruguay. Francisco Mauro Severiano Corral, age 27, born in Uruguay. Relationship unknown. They were first-class passengers and their bodies, if recovered, were never identified. The next victim is the Carter family. Reverend Ernest Courtney Carter, age 54, born in England. Lillian Hughes Carter, age 45, born in England. The Carters were married in 1890. They were second-class passengers and were given lifeboats. They refused by saying, "Let the others go first." The Carters' bodies, if recovered, were never identified. Their cenotaph is located in England. The next victim is Alfred John Carver, age 28, born in England. He was a third-class passenger and his body was never recovered. Alfred's occupation was listed as a seaman. The next victim is Howard Brown Case, age 47, born in New York. His cenotaph is located in Maryland, on his wife's grave marker. The next victim is Tyrell William Cavendish, age 36, born in England. Tyrell and his wife were first-class passengers. His wife survived the sinking, but Tyrell did not. Tyrell was listed as number 172 and buried in England. They had one son. The next victim is Francesco Salati, age 23, born in Italy. He was a third-class passenger with ticket number 343275 and was traveling to London. Francesco's body, if recovered, was never identified. The next victim is Herbert Fuller Chafee, age 46, born in Connecticut. He was married and they had one son. His wife survived the sinking, but Herbert did not. Herbert's cenotaph is located in North Dakota. The next victim is Charles Henry Chapman, age 51, born in Africa. He was a second-class passenger. His body was recovered and listed as number 130. Charles was married and had 4 children. He was buried in New York. The next victim is the Chapman family. John Henry Chapman, age 36, born in Canada. The Chapmans were on their honeymoon and was traveling to Wisconsin to live there. They were second-class passengers. John's pocket watch, its hands forever frozen in time, stopped precisely at 1:45 a.m. It was found in John's clothing. The pocket watch is part of the collection of Titanic artifacts and travels in exhibitions worldwide. John was buried in Canada. Sarah Elizabeth Laurie Chapman, age 29, born in England. Her body was never recovered. Their cenotaph is located in England, on her aunt's grave. The next victim is David Charters, age 20, born in Ireland. He was traveling to New York to meet his uncle. David has a memorial plaque in Ireland and a cenotaph on his family's headstone. The next victim is Amir Farais Shihab, age 29, born in Lebanon. He was a third-class passenger and his destination was unknown. Amir's body, if recovered, was never identified. The next victim is Roderick Robert Chisholm, age 43, born in Scotland. He worked for Harland and Wolff and was a ship's draftsman. Roderick was a member of the 9-strong guarantee group that oversee the smooth running of the Titanic's maiden voyage. Roderick was married and he had 2 children. He perished in the sinking and his body, if recovered, was never identified. Roderick's estate was worth £140, or $681, and was administered to his widow. His cenotaph is located in Ireland. The next victim is Emil Christmann, age 28, born in Germany. He was a third-class passenger and his body was never recovered. Emil's occupation was listed as a clerk. The next victim is the Chronopoulos family. Apostolos M. Chronopoulos, age 25, born in Greece. Demetrius Chronopoulos, age 18, born in Greece. The brothers were third-class passengers and their bodies, if recovered, were never identified. The next victim is Walter Miller Clark, age 27. Walter and his wife were first-class passengers and were traveling to Los Angeles, California. They were standing on the deck when the Titanic started sinking. His wife survived, but Walter did not. They had one son and Walter's estate was valued at $80,000. His mother donated the land and money for the Walter Clark Memorial Community Church to be built in Long Beach, California. The church is now known as the Lakewood Village Community Church. Walter's cenotaph is included on his father's plaque in the mausoleum. The mausoleum was built in hopes that Walter's body would be found. The next victim is Charles Valentine Clark, age 29, born in England. He boarded the Titanic with his wife and were second-class passengers. They were traveling to California. His wife survived, but Charles did not. His body, if recovered, was never identified. Charles' cenotaph is located in England. Charles' occupation was listed as a dairy worker. The next victim is George Quincy Clifford, age 40, born in Massachusetts. He was in Europe and was returning home after learning of his mother's death. His brother passed away the following year. George's body was never found. His name is inscribed on the back of his parents' gravestone. A footmarker is also reserved there, which is his cenotaph. Both are located in Massachusetts. George was the president of the George E. Belcher Last Company in Massachusetts. The next victim is Domingos Fernandes Coelho, age 20, born in Portugal. He was a third-class passenger, traveling to New York, and two of his friends accompanied him. His body was never recovered. Domingos' occupation was listed as a farmer. The next victim is Patrick Colbert, age 24, born in Ireland. He was traveling to Canada to join his brother. Patrick's desire was to become a religious brother. The next victim is Petr Kolev, age 23, born in Bulgaria. His occupation was listed as a general laborer. Petr was a third-class passenger. He perished in the sinking and his body was never recovered. The next victim is Reginald Charles Coleridge, age 28, born in England. He was traveling to Michigan on another steamer, but due to the coal strike, he was transferred to the Titanic. Reginald was a second-class passenger. His estate was worth £455 or $616 in US dollars. Reginald left it to his adopted father, Reverend Crossfield. The next victim is Eric Gustav Kolander, age 27, born in Finland. He was a second-class passenger and was traveling to Ohio on a pleasure trip and to study. Eric's body, if recovered, was never identified. His occupation was listed as a technical director at a large paper mill. The next victim is Edward Pomeroy Colley, age 37, born in Ireland. He comes from a very distinguished, well-off family. His family is related to the Duke of Wellington. Edward died on his birthday and his sister died the same day, but was not a victim of the Titanic. He has two cenotaphs and are located in England. The next victim is Harvey Collier, age 31, born in England. He ran a grocery store and sold it to travel to Idaho with his wife and daughter. He took the money in banknotes, put it in the pocket of his coat. Everything they owned was on board the Titanic. Harvey's wife and daughter survived, but he did not. Harvey had a twin brother. His cenotaph is located in England. The next victim is Peju Kolchev, age 36, born in Bulgaria. He was a third-class passenger and his body was never recovered. Peju's occupation was listed as a general laborer. The next victim is Alexander Taylor Compton Jr., age 37, born in New York. He boarded the Titanic with his mother and sister. They both survived the sinking, but Alexander did not. His body was never recovered. Alexander's cenotaph is located in the family plot located in New Jersey. The next victim is Thomas Henry Collin, age 30, born in Pennsylvania. He boarded the Titanic with his two sisters, and they were third-class passengers. They were traveling to New York City. As the Titanic was sinking, his sisters were getting on the lifeboat. Thomas threw them his coat. His body, if recovered, was never identified. Thomas was engaged to be married. His occupation was listed as an agent for a machine company. The next victim is Michael Connaughton, age 40, born in Ireland. He was traveling to Brooklyn, New York, and was a third-class passenger. Michael's body, if recovered, was never identified. The next victim is Catherine Connolly, also known as Kate, age 41, born in Ireland. She was traveling to New York as a third-class passenger. Kate's family initially believed that she had survived the sinking, but over a week later, they were heartbroken to discover that it was another woman with the same name that survived. Her body, if recovered, was never identified. Her estate was valued at £20. The next victim is Patrick Connors, also known as Patrick O'Connor, age 65, born in Ireland. After 38 years in America, he came home to Ireland for a visit with his family. Patrick's body was found by the Mackay Bennett and listed as number 171. He was buried at sea. The next victim is Jacob Kuchkuk, age 43, born in Russia. He was a third-class passenger and his body was never recovered. Jacob's occupation was listed as a wood carver. The next victim is the Kor family. Bartle Kor, age 34, born in Croatia. Ivan Kor, age 26, born in Croatia. Ludovic Kor, also known as Ludovic, age 18, born in Croatia. Relationships unknown. They were third-class passengers, and their occupations were listed as general laborers. Their bodies were never recovered. The next victim is Irene Colvin Corbett, age 30, born in Utah. Her 3 children stayed with her parents, while Irene traveled to London to study nursing. She had traveled on the White Star Line, and upon returning, she boarded the Titanic as a second-class passenger. Irene perished in the sinking. The next victim is Mary Emma Phyllis Miller Corey, age 32, born in Pennsylvania. She was returning from India and was accompanied by another woman. Mary probably spent her last day on the Titanic in the library. They both perished in the sinking. The next victim is Harris Kornblatt, age 29, born in Poland. He was a third-class passenger and his body was never recovered. His cenotaph is on the grave of his widow. The next victim is Henry Cotterill, also known as Harry, age 20, born in England. He was traveling to Ohio and was accompanied by 2 friends. His body, if recovered, was never identified. A brass plaque in memory of Henry and one of his friends is located in England. The next victim is Daniel Coxon, age 58, born in England. He was a third-class passenger and his body was never recovered. The next victim is John Bertram Crafton, age 58, born in Indiana. He was an entrepreneur owning the Craft and Quarry Company. He sold the business and managed the Mississippi Stone and Lumber Company. John took a recreational vacation around Europe. He telegrammed his wife letting her know he was coming home. He originally was booked on the Kaiser in Auguste, Victoria, but exchanged his ticket to board the Titanic. John's body was never recovered. His cenotaph is located in Indiana. They had 2 sons, and one of them died as an infant. The next victim is Ernest James Creese, age 20, born in Ohio. He was a third-class passenger and his body was never recovered. The next victim is John Hatfield Cribb, age 43, born in Australia. He was a third-class passenger, traveling with his daughter, to New Jersey. John's occupation was listed as a butler. His daughter survived the sinking, but John did not. John's body was never recovered. The next victim is Captain Edward Gifford Crosby, age 64, born in New York. He was head of the Great Lakes Shipping Company. Edward, his wife and daughter were passengers on the Titanic. His wife and daughter survived, but Edward did not. Edward's body was later found by the Mackay Bennett and listed as number 269. Edward was buried in Wisconsin. The next victim is Jeso Kolomovic, age 16, born in Croatia. He was a third-class passenger and was traveling to Indiana. Jeso boarded under the calling name Esimovic. His occupation was listed as a farmer. Jesso's body, if recovered, was never identified. The next victim is John Bradley Cummings, age 39, born in Massachusetts. He was a stockbroker in New York. John and his wife took a trip to Europe. They were first-class passengers and his wife survived the sinking, but John did not. They had 3 sons. John's cenotaph is located in Massachusetts. The next victim is Alfred Fleming Cunningham, age 21, born in Ireland. He was a fitter apprentice. Alfred boarded the Titanic as a member of the 9-strong Guarantee Group. Alfred's body, if recovered, was never identified. His epitaph is located in Belfast along with a Titanic memorial. If you like this content, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel at MeTime806. Thank you very much.